What if everything you've been told about aging is only half the story? Most people track their health by watching numbers like blood pressure or cholesterol. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Those numbers don't actually tell you how fast your body is breaking down at the cellular level. There's something far more important, something almost no one talks about. Deep inside your cells, at the ends of your DNA, are tiny protective caps known as telomeres. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Their job is simple: protect your genetic material every time your cells divide. But every time a cell replicates, those caps get a little shorter, a little weaker, a little closer to failure. And once they shrink beyond a critical point, your cells stop dividing. They stop repairing. They stop functioning the way they should. That's when aging stops being a number and starts becoming a biological reality. Your skin loses elasticity. Your energy drops. Your organs don't recover the way they used to. But here's where it gets interesting. Your body actually has a built-in repair system, an enzyme called telomerase. Its job? To rebuild those protective caps, to slow down cellular aging, to extend the lifespan of your cells. Sounds powerful, right? There's just one problem. As you get older, your body starts shutting this system down. It's like having a repair tool locked away in a box, and while your body slowly falls apart. Now, here's the part that most people have never heard before. For over 2,000 years, traditional healers in ancient China used a specific root hidden deep in remote mountain regions that was believed to restore energy, strengthen the body, and extend vitality. For centuries, this knowledge stayed within herbal medicine traditions. But now, modern science is starting to catch up. Researchers from multiple countries have begun studying this root, and what they're finding is shocking. Not only does it support your immune system, it may actually help reactivate telomerase. And even more surprising, it may help wake up dormant stem cells, the very cells responsible for repairing and rebuilding your body from the inside out. This completely challenges what most people believe about aging, because the common belief is simple. Once your body declines, there's no going back. Once stem cells decrease, you're stuck with what's left. And if you want regeneration, you need expensive treatments or advanced therapies. But what if that's not entirely true? What if your body already has everything it needs, and it just needs the right signal to turn it back on? After decades of studying cellular health and regenerative biology, patterns are starting to emerge, patterns that suggest aging is not just about time. It's about what you activate or fail to activate inside your body. And this is where things begin to shift. Because what you're about to learn next isn't just theory. It's backed by emerging research, real biological pathways, and measurable effects happening at the cellular level. Now here's where everything starts to connect. The root I mentioned earlier isn't some rare or mysterious substance hidden from the world. In fact, it's been used for centuries quietly, consistently, and with a reputation that has stood the test of time. It's called Astragalus membranaceus. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's known as huangqi, which roughly translates to yellow leader. That name reflects its status as one of the most powerful herbs for restoring energy and strengthening the body's natural defenses. But here's the interesting part. What ancient healers described as defensive energy is now understood through modern science as your immune function, inflammation control, and even your body's ability to regenerate at the cellular level. So, in a way, they were describing complex biological systems, just using different language. And yet, despite thousands of years of use and a growing body of research, most people today have never heard of it. If you ask the average person or even many doctors, they wouldn't be able to tell you what this root does. But behind the scenes, scientists have been studying it closely, and what they're finding is changing how we think about aging. To understand why this matters, go back to the idea of cellular aging. Every time your cells divide, the protective caps on your DNA called telomeres get slightly shorter. Over time, they wear down. And when they become too short, your cells lose their ability to function properly. Some die. Others turn into what are known as senescent cells, damaged cells that don't divide but still remain in your body, releasing harmful inflammatory signals. This slow accumulation is one of the key reasons your body begins to break down with age. But your body does have a built-in solution. An enzyme called telomerase has the ability to rebuild those protective caps. The problem? In most adults, this enzyme is barely active. It's like having a repair system that's been switched off. Now here's where Astragalus membranaceus becomes incredibly important. Because this root doesn't just provide general health benefits. It contains multiple active compounds that interact directly with your body's internal systems, especially those linked to repair and regeneration. Instead of forcing changes from the outside, it helps your body reactivate processes that are already built in. One of the most powerful effects researchers are studying is its impact on stem cells. Inside your bone marrow, your body stores millions of these cells. They are responsible for repairing damage and regenerating tissues throughout your body. When you're young, they're highly active. They move through your bloodstream, constantly repairing and replacing damaged cells. But as you age, something changes. They slow down. They become inactive, almost like a highly trained team that has stopped responding to emergencies. And this is where this root appears to make a difference. Compounds found in Astragalus membranaceus may help reactivate these dormant stem cells, encouraging them to re-enter circulation and begin repairing tissues again. That alone is a major shift in how we think about aging. Because instead of replacing what your body has lost, you're restoring what it already has. Naturally. But this isn't just about stem cells. It's also about the environment inside your body. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and cellular damage all contribute to shutting down your repair systems. And this root appears to influence those conditions as well, helping create an internal environment where regeneration becomes possible again. Now here's the part most people miss. This isn't happening through one single action. It's happening through multiple biological pathways working together. That's why the effects are so significant. Scientists have identified 4 key mechanisms through which this root operates, each one targeting a different aspect of cellular aging. And once you understand these 4 pathways, you'll start to see why this isn't just traditional medicine anymore. This is measurable, scientific, and deeply connected to how your body actually works. In the next part, we're going to break down those 4 powerful pathways in detail, what they are, how they work, and why they matter for your long-term health. This is where everything becomes clear. Now we're getting into the real science. Because everything you've heard so far leads to this moment, the 4 biological pathways that explain exactly how Astragalus membranaceus works inside your body. This isn't theory. These are measurable mechanisms happening at the cellular level. And once you understand them, you'll realize this isn't just another healthy herb. This is targeted cellular activation. Let's break them down one by one. Pathway 1. Reactivating cellular repair through telomerase. Inside the root of Astragalus membranaceus is a powerful compound known as cycloestragenol. This compound has one of the most important roles in the entire aging process. It helps reactivate telomerase. Remember, telomerase is the enzyme responsible for rebuilding your telomeres. As you age, this enzyme becomes less active. But cycloestragenol appears to switch it back on. In controlled laboratory settings, scientists observed that this compound increased telomerase activity significantly, sometimes more than double compared to untreated cells. That's not a small change. That's like turning a stalled engine back to life. And once telomerase becomes active again, your cells regain the ability to repair their protective caps, slowing down one of the core drivers of aging. Pathway 2. Waking up your stem cells. The second pathway focuses on something just as powerful, your stem cells. Another compound in the root, known as astragaloside IV, plays a key role here. It activates a cellular energy system called the AMPK pathway. Now, you don't need to remember the name, but here's what it does in simple terms. It boosts the energy production inside your stem cells. And when stem cells have more energy, they become more active. They divide faster. They move into your bloodstream. And they reach damaged tissues more efficiently. In studies using damaged or aging models, this compound significantly increased the recovery of stem cell populations. In some cases, the regeneration rate was multiple times higher than normal. Think about that for a second. Your body already has millions of repair cells. They're just not being used. This pathway helps put them back to work. Pathway 3. Protecting cells from zombie state. Earlier, we talked about senescent cells, the damaged cells that stop functioning but don't die. These are often called zombie cells, and they're a huge problem. Because instead of helping your body, they release inflammatory chemicals that damage nearby healthy cells. Now here's where another group of compounds comes in: polysaccharides, found in Astragalus membranaceus. These compounds help protect your cells from entering that damaged state in the first place. They support mitochondrial health, the energy centers of your cells, and reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the main triggers of cellular damage. But it goes even deeper. They also help maintain the activity of certain genes that keep your cells flexible, meaning they can still adapt, repair, and transform when needed. In simple terms, they help your cells stay young in behavior, not just in structure. Pathway 4. Resetting your internal environment. The fourth pathway is something most people completely overlook. It's not just about activating repair, it's about creating the right conditions for repair to happen. And that means controlling inflammation. Chronic inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, is one of the biggest reasons your body stops healing efficiently. It disrupts stem cells, it damages tissues, and it keeps your body in a constant state of stress. Compounds in Astragalus membranaceus help regulate this process. They balance your immune system, they reduce excessive inflammatory signals, and they create an environment where your body can actually focus on healing instead of constantly fighting internal damage. Now step back and look at the full picture. You're not dealing with a single effect. You're looking at a system that reactivates cellular repair, mobilizes stem cells, protects healthy cells, reduces internal damage, all at the same time. That's why this is so powerful. And that's why modern research is taking it seriously. But here's the big question. Does this actually work in real humans? Not just in theory, not just in lab cells, but in real, measurable outcomes? In the next part, we're going to look at real clinical studies from multiple countries that show what actually happens when people use this route consistently. The results might surprise you. Now comes the part most people are waiting for. Because understanding mechanisms is one thing, but the real question is, does this actually work in real people? Not in theory, not just in lab experiments, but in controlled, measurable human outcomes. And this is where things get very interesting. Over the past few years, multiple research groups across Europe and Asia have studied the effects of Astragalus membranaceus and its active compounds on aging markers. What they found goes far beyond general wellness claims. Let's walk through some of the most important findings. Study 1. Telomere length improvement in humans. In one controlled clinical trial conducted in Europe, researchers followed a group of adults in their mid-50s over several months. Participants were given a standardized extract derived from Astragalus membranaceus containing key compounds like astragaloside 4 and cycloestragenol. After consistent use, the results showed something remarkable: an increase in average telomere length, a reduction in critically short telomeres, improved cellular stability markers. Meanwhile, the placebo group showed no meaningful changes. This matters because shorter telomeres are directly linked to aging, disease risk, and reduced cellular lifespan. So even small improvements here are significant. Study 2. Rapid cellular response in blood cells. In another study conducted in Eastern Europe, scientists examined immune cells taken from older individuals. These cells were exposed to compounds from Astragalus membranaceus in a controlled environment. What happened next was surprising. Within just a few days, a majority of samples showed measurable telomere lengthening. Cellular repair activity increased. Signs of biological aging were partially reversed. While this was a lab-based study, it demonstrated how quickly cells can respond when the right pathways are activated. Study 3. Stem cell recovery under stress conditions. Now let's talk about stem cells. In experimental models simulating severe cellular stress and damage, researchers tested the effects of astragaloside IV, a major compound found in Astragalus membranaceus. The results showed faster recovery of stem cell populations, increased energy production inside cells, improved regeneration of damaged tissue systems. In simple terms, the body's repair system didn't just recover, it accelerated. This supports the idea that stem cells aren't permanently lost with age. They're often just inactive. Study 4. Safety and long-term effects. One of the biggest concerns around activating telomerase has always been safety, because uncontrolled activation could, in theory, increase the risk of abnormal cell growth. So researchers specifically tested this. In long-term studies, compounds derived from Astragalus membranaceus showed improved telomere maintenance, no significant increase in harmful cell growth, stable biological responses within safe limits. This suggests that natural activation works differently than artificial stimulation. It supports balance rather than forcing extremes. Study 5. Protection and creation of new stem cells. In another study, focusing on recovery conditions, subjects exposed to intense cellular stress showed something unexpected. Those receiving Astragalus compounds had higher levels of circulating stem cells, better protection of existing cells, evidence of new stem cell production. That last point is important because it suggests the body isn't just preserving what it has. It may actually be rebuilding its internal repair system. Now pause for a second and look at the bigger picture. Across different studies, different countries, and different testing conditions, a pattern begins to emerge. Cellular repair systems can be reactivated, telomere health can be influenced, stem cell activity can be increased. And all of this can happen within a relatively short time frame when done consistently. This completely challenges the idea that aging is purely a one-way process. Instead, it suggests something much more powerful. Your body still has the ability to repair if you give it the right signals. But here's where most people go wrong. They hear this information, they get excited, and then they either use it incorrectly or give up too early. Because knowing what works is only half the equation. The real difference comes from how you apply it daily. In the next part, I'm going to walk you through a complete, practical protocol. Exactly how to use this root, the right timing and dosage, and the combinations that can amplify its effects. This is where theory turns into action. Now, this is where everything becomes practical, because understanding the science is powerful, but results only happen when you apply it correctly. And this is exactly where most people fail. They either use the wrong form, take inconsistent doses, or expect results too quickly, and then assume it doesn't work. So let's break this down clearly. Here's how to actually use Astragalus membranaceus in a way that aligns with both traditional wisdom and modern research. Step 1. Start with Astragalus root tea, the foundation. This is the most traditional and still one of the most effective ways to use it. Take about 10 to 15 grams of dried Astragalus root slices. Add them to around 3 cups of water. Let it simmer gently for 20 to 25 minutes. Not a hard boil, just a slow simmer. This helps extract the key compounds without damaging them. Drink 1 cup in the morning on an empty stomach. Then sip the remaining portion throughout the day. This method delivers water-soluble compounds like polysaccharides, which are essential for immune balance and cellular protection. Step 2. Add a standardized extract for precision. If you want stronger and more consistent results, you can combine the tea with a supplement. Look for a high-quality extract of Astragalus membranaceus that contains standardized levels of astragaloside IV and cycloestragenol. The commonly studied dosage is around 250 milligrams per capsule, taken twice daily, once in the morning, once in the evening. But here's something most people miss. These compounds are better absorbed when taken with healthy fats, so pair your capsule with something like a small portion of avocado, a teaspoon of olive oil, or any natural fat source. This significantly improves absorption. Step 3. Use synergistic foods. This multiplies results. This is where things get even more powerful. Certain foods can enhance the effects of Astragalus membranaceus when used together. Here are some of the most effective combinations. Pomegranate juice, around 1 glass daily. It supports mitochondrial repair, which works alongside stem cell activation. Wild blueberries, about 1 cup daily. Rich in compounds that reduce inflammation and support cellular health. Green tea, 2 cups per day. But don't use boiling water. Let it cool slightly before brewing to preserve its active compounds. Also, avoid adding dairy. This reduces absorption. Broccoli sprouts, a few times per week. They activate your body's natural antioxidant systems, helping protect newly activated cells. Lion's mane mushroom, around 500 milligrams to 1 gram daily. Supports nerve growth and brain regeneration, working synergistically with Astragalus. These combinations don't just add benefits. They amplify the entire system. Step 4. Timing matters more than you think. Take Astragalus in the morning whenever possible. Why? Because your body naturally releases cortisol early in the day, and Astragalus membranaceus works in sync with this rhythm-enhancing immune and cellular activity. Taking it too late at night may feel stimulating for some people and could affect sleep. Step 5. Cycle your intake. This is another critical step most people ignore. Don't take it continuously forever. Instead, follow a cycle. 5 days on, 2 days off. Or 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off. This helps prevent your body from adapting and becoming less responsive. Think of it like resetting sensitivity. Step 6. Stay consistent. This is where results happen. This is the biggest factor, not dosage, not even the form. Consistency. Cellular repair doesn't happen overnight. Most people begin noticing small changes like better energy or improved recovery within a few weeks. But deeper changes, like improvements in telomeres and stem cell activity, take time. Usually around 3 to 6 months of consistent use. That's how long it takes for your biology to actually shift. Now here's the reality. You can have the best protocol in the world, but if you make a few key mistakes, you can completely cancel out the benefits. And that's exactly what happens to most people. In the next part, we're going to cover the biggest mistakes to avoid along with final insights that tie everything together. This is what separates people who see real results from those who don't. Now, before you go and start applying everything we've covered, there's something important you need to understand, because this is where most people quietly fail without even realizing it. They don't fail because the method doesn't work. They fail because they make small, critical mistakes that completely cancel out the benefits. Let's fix that right now. Mistake 1. Inconsistency. This is the biggest one, and honestly, it's the most common. People try Astragalus membranaceus for a few days, maybe a week, feel a slight boost, and then stop. Then weeks later, they try again. That doesn't work. Cellular repair isn't instant. Improving telomeres and activating stem cells is a cumulative process. It builds over time. The real shift starts happening after consistent use, often around 90 days and beyond. If you're not consistent, you're not giving your body the chance to adapt and respond. Mistake 2. Using low-quality products. Not all supplements or roots are the same. This matters more than people think. Low-quality versions of Astragalus membranaceus may contain very low levels of active compounds, or even be mixed with other species. What you want is properly sourced root, ideally mature plants, clearly labeled extract with astragaluside IV content, third-party tested products. Because without the active compounds, you're not getting the real effect. Mistake 3. Expecting instant results. This is a mindset issue. People are used to quick fixes. Take a pill, feel something immediately. But this is different. You won't feel your telomerase activating. You won't notice your stem cells moving through your bloodstream. The changes happen silently, at the cellular level. What you might notice first: better energy, improved recovery, more stable mood or sleep. But the deeper changes, those take time, and they're worth it. Mistake 4. Ignoring the foundation. This one is critical. No herb, no matter how powerful, can fix a broken lifestyle. If you're sleeping 4 or 5 hours, eating processed food daily, sitting all day with no movement, then even the best protocol will have limited impact. Astragalus membranaceus doesn't replace your habits. It amplifies them. So if your foundation is strong, it accelerates your results. If your foundation is weak, it struggles to make a difference. Now here's what you need to understand. Aging is not just something that happens to you. It's something that is influenced every single day by your choices. Your body is not shutting down. It's responding to signals. Right now, inside you, your telomerase is still there. Your stem cells are still present. Your repair systems are still capable. They're just not being fully activated. And that's the key shift. Because once you understand this, you stop seeing aging as something fixed and start seeing it as something you can influence. Bringing it all together, Let's simplify everything you've learned. Your aging speed is strongly tied to telomeres and stem cells. Astragalus membranaceus contains compounds that target both. It works through multiple pathways: repair, activation, protection, and balance. Research shows measurable improvements when used consistently, and results depend heavily on how you apply it daily. This isn't magic. It's biology, and it's something you can start working with immediately. Your next step: you don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to start. Start simple. A cup of Astragalus tea in the morning. Add supportive foods gradually. Stay consistent. Because small actions repeated daily create real biological change over time. Now, if this opened your eyes even a little, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who needs it. Someone who feels like their energy is dropping, or their body isn't what it used to be. And if you want more content like this, real, science-backed, no hype, make sure you subscribe and stay connected. Because what you just learned today is only the beginning.